So I guess I just really wanted to talk to you a bit about your journey to becoming a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So from your perspective.
Absolutely. Well, I always liked the sciences and working with people. So when it came to what I wanted to do after school and beyond, I was interested in doing medicine, and then applied and I got in, and I finished University of Glasgow medicine degree, and now I'm a junior doctor in my first year.
Great. And did you have any doctors in the family?
No, so I actually am the first person in my family to go to a British university. My family are from abroad, and I don't have any doctors in my family now.
Yeah, and am I right? Your family originally from Bangladesh?
Yes, they're originally from Bangladesh. Then they moved to Russia, and then they moved to Glasgow. Yes.
Wow. And you were born in Russia, is that right?
That's right, yes.
How old were you when you came to Glasgow?
I came to Glasgow at the age of 8 years old.
You were 8?
Yes.
That must have been quite a culture shock.
Indeed. Having no English whatsoever. It was challenging, and then starting in Glasgow, bless, everybody was so kind, but the accent was a little bit strong to pick up.
Yes. I know people listen to, back in the day it was lingophone tapes, wasn't it? But never sounded like Glaswegians.
No, not at all.
I think one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot, as you know, I'm doing this Swarthmore lecture, and one of the things I've been thinking about a lot is educational opportunities. And obviously, I'm a medic myself. I work at Glasgow University, and I'm aware that in order to get into medical school, you don't just need stellar exam results, you also need work experience. And I mean, what struck me is that, if your parents have come from Bangladesh via Russia when you were 8, they're not going to have the social contacts for you to get work experience.
No, absolutely not. No. I went around to my local GP practice, and they said, yeah, you can come, but after I graduate. And I'm like, well, I need to get into university first. Yeah. So then if it hadn't been for you and Stephen, then I wouldn't have been able to get the experience, because I had tried with my school. We had kind of like a career support advisor. She was lovely, but there wasn't. It was unfortunately, like you said, if I didn't know the right people to have this experience, and without it, I wouldn't have been able to get into interview at all, even.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the crazy thing is, I mean, I've met your parents, and your parents are so supportive.
Yes.
They're so proud of you and so supportive. But I mean, if you come to a country without that social network, then
no, my parents didn't know like any doctors, anyone from there. So it was very tricky, but I did have some work experience in the care home. That was something I was able to organize. But I think had I not had the experience at the GP or in of with at least even meeting like a doctor who I aspired to be, then I don't think I would have had the same chances of obtaining.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I've been thinking about a lot is that British people, I think across the world, actually, probably we tend to give opportunities to our own children. We don't think about children who could be just as successful but are not members of our family. And I mean, what do you think British people could do to help young people like you were 10 years ago to get a chance for medicine?
I think the opportunities to experience medicine should be a little bit easier to access. I mean, there's a lot of doctors in hospitals in the community that they do teaching with medical students, and of course they're like the trainees and etc. But I think there's no there isn't any I don't feel like there's much openness to having people at the school stage or people younger to experience aspects of the healthcare. And I think I don't think it's just across the medicine profession. I think it's also perpetrates through like the nursing and the other professions as well. I don't think they get the opportunities on there. And I think if British people individually, you can do a lot to even facilitate these things. But I think if just keeping your mind open, and even anytime it comes up on a small basis because British people are social, so they meet lots of people or can do with lots of different backgrounds. And so if they have any of their children or anybody that they meet that they're maybe interested in healthcare, then I think they should maybe offer the opportunity to come and shadow them, or point to routes which I think are more. It's starting to become a little bit, not a little bit easier, but there are more, like, for example, there's like the Access to Glasgow program at the university and the REACH program, and these are all excellent initiatives, I think. But I think on an individual level, I think more could be done.
Yeah, and I guess it's not just medicine, is it? It's journalism, business, everything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that was really what I wanted to kind of pick your brains about. Is there anything else about that you'd want to say, Makhib?
Work experience, for example, it's really interesting how like little people know about experiences even within their place they work at. Like, for example, my brother is interested in nursing, actually, and he's applying to, well, he'll be applying in the coming October. So but like I found, because now I'm a lot, like, I can look into things quite a bit more deeper. I found at our hospital, and it's easier now, I found that the hospital I'm currently in, they do have a work experience for students from the age of 16, and like you can do the application and everything. But I spoke to the charge nurse of the ward, and she's like, oh, you need to be 18, whereas it clearly states in the policies that it's 16. So even, it's not like, so if I hadn't looked it up, then I might be a bit, then there's no work experience at the hospital because you have to be 18, but he'd be 17 when he's applying. So
Gosh. So is that inside knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's things like, it's kind of like if I wasn't at the hospital, I wouldn't have known this. And like if I had just approached it from an external point of view, maybe a different person might have said different. But if it was somebody that didn't know and then they said, oh, you have to be 18, then I wouldn't like pursue on, because I'd be like, oh, I'm not able to, kind of thing. So
yeah. I mean, and I think it happens to people from so many walks of life. You know, if they don't have doctors in the family, then how can you ever find this out?
Yeah, exactly.
I had a friend at medical school who, a white guy, but he'd come from a really rough estate in Newcastle. And he knew that he was capable of getting the A levels to get into medicine, but no one in his school had ever got the A levels. And so his teachers predicted that he wouldn't get good enough grades. And so he didn't get a place.
Oh.
And he had to go and do a science degree first and eventually got into medicine. But, you know, you think, how do we open doors and just make it a bit more equitable? It's not easy.
It's not, but yeah, it's absolutely isn't. And more people are applying and things, and it's so difficult. I think that's quite sad. I think at school level it should be more encouraging for people to be like, this is, you know, if they are interested in this, and they shouldn't. I don't think any child should be told not to pursue something if they, you know, that's if they're interested in that. I don't know.
Exactly. What do you think got you interested in medicine?
I think I was very close to applying to maths, actually, interestingly, but I quite like numbers and data and things.
Well, I always remember you coming to do work experience with me when you were already a student, and you had been doing all of this analysis on WHO data on infant mental health, and I was like, "Who supervised you?" And you were like, "No, I just looked it up." I was just absolutely blown away but I guess it was that talent you have for data and numbers, and just
Thank you. Yeah,
you'd applied it, you'd made it useful.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. So I think that's the thing. I think I think the way people should do it more often is, I think, like, maybe this is something that's going to be a little bit serious, but I think it could be that just like all doctors have, I think when they're consultants with their 5-year, I'm not sure about every 5-year appraisals, I think they need to have supervised an X number of trainees and an X number of, you know, they had to have done teaching and quality improvement and things. I think maybe there should be something like they should have like had an X number of of school aspiring medical students.
What a great idea.
I think something like that would incentivize a little bit more.
Yeah, that's such a good idea, because of course, you know, I think all humans, we get busy and you don't think about things, and it's just so much easier just to do it if someone asks you. And of course, you're much more likely to be asked by someone who's a friend.
Of course, yeah.
Unless you have to do it, you're probably not going to go the extra mile and think, how can I offer that to young people who are out there who could be fantastic doctors, but who I don't know?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, that's so helpful. No, it's given me loads of food for thought, Makhib.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, listen, thanks so much for this.
You're very welcome. Anytime.